Good morning, everybody. January is National Human Traffic Awareness Month. And so I know many of you know that my husband and I are heavily involved in rescuing children and rehabilitating children from sex trafficking. But I don't think I've ever shared my story on here. We've spoken on several occasions at different organizations, but I wanted to get on here and share this. And I've got some notes, so if I'm looking down, forgive me. I got involved with human trafficking as a dance teacher. I was teaching dance in Lincoln, Montana. And because I'm a Christian, I'm very particular about my choreography, my music, and my costumes. And some people recognized that. And so they confided in me that I was actually teaching some girls that had been rescued from sex trafficking. And I'm like, what is that? Well, then they told me about what sex trafficking is, and I knew from that point on I could not do something about this. So if you've ever been to my home, you understand or see that I have a very, very large kitchen table. And there's times when we have that thing full and then other tables set up too. I often imagine an empty chair there and wonder where that child is and what might be happening to that child, because sex trafficking can happen to anybody. The internet knows no boundaries. People don't realize how vulnerable our kids are. They're not even safe in their own homes with the internet. So one of the things my husband and I stress is that you have got to get in your kids' business. You have got to get on their Facebooks, get their passwords, get on their Instagrams, even Pandora Radio, on their videos. Video games have chat rooms and that type of thing. And predators can get to them any way, any shape, any form. And if you don't think that it's happening in your community, let alone even in your own home, you're wrong. Sex trafficking, human trafficking, is the second largest industry next to drugs, because you can sell a drug once, but you can sell a child over and over and over. And keep in mind that the average age is 12. But I just learned at the last event that I spoke at that the drug cartel now is into sex trafficking for that very reason. It's huge. Money is huge, and they don't care. They don't care what they have to do or what they're going to do to get to our kids. And I also heard that they believe that sex trafficking is actually going to eclipse the drug cartel because it's so much money. Because, like I said, you can sell a drug once, you can sell a child over and over and over again. And my husband and I have had people in our home that have been rescued, so we know firsthand. Take, for instance, one of the gals that we spoke, when we first got involved, we spoke to two girls, and one of the things that they said to us was that they don't feel like they have a hope for a future, because who's going to want them after what's been done to them? Well, when we got back in the car that day, I told my husband, these girls need a hope chest, like in the old days when they made hope chests and prepared young women for their life as a wife or, whatever. And so he came home and he made these beautiful hope chests for two of the girls. And we put their names on them, we put a cross on them, and we put Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans for a hope and a future, says the Lord. And I put it on Facebook, and we got stuff from all over the country to put into these hope chests. We took them to the girls, and the day that we took them to the girls, there happened to be a woman there that she herself was sold into trafficking by her mother at the age of 12. The last John that she was with had a fantasy of seeing a child burn, so he poured gasoline on her and lit her on fire. This is what we're dealing with. It's not funny. It's not games. This is happening all over, and it's happening more and more and more. Well, she's now a grown woman and has a ministry of her own. And she came up to speak to us one day, and before she came, she got a call from the authorities, and they had said there was an incident they knew had happened in a hotel down in Texas, and they couldn't get in there right away. Melissa somehow got in there and found a 9-year-old hanging by her hair with track marks up and down her arms, and had been raped multiple times. And Melissa took that child down, and that child died in her arms. This is big stuff. And one of the other girls that we have worked with, she was a young girl, was sexually assaulted at the age of 5. She was sold by a family member at the age of 11 for drugs. She was made to have an abortion at the age of 11. She's now 21 and getting married. So those are the things that we're trying to do. We want to eradicate sex trafficking. We want these pimps to know that we're coming after them. And we want the kids to know that we are coming to get them. We are not going to let this continue, not on our watch, not in our state, not in our community, not in our country. And so we formed a task force in Great Falls, and we've got some pretty heavy hitters. If anybody wants to be a part of that, please message me, because we have got to do something about that. And my husband and I, our big message is let's prevent it from happening in the first place. We have special people that are working tirelessly to rescue these girls. There's not enough of them. There's not enough manpower. There's not enough prosecuting attorneys. There's not enough internet crimes against children detectives. There's not enough. And so what we as a task force would like to do is, of course, raise awareness, but to help these people have the funding that they need to continue on to rescue these girls. So I just wanted to kind of let you know, let me take a look here. I wanted to say too, what do you think fuels this? Where does this all start? A lot of it starts in pornography, and pornography is not just with men. Pornography is a billion-dollar industry, and it leads to horrible things, but it's also women too. Let me tell you, I'm going to say this, probably step on some toes, but if you're reading 50 Shades of Grey every time you read that book, and every time you go to that movie, you are funding what's happening to these kids, because what you're reading in those books is what these children experience at the hands of monsters on a regular basis. Some girls are sold in a night. You know, they're made to do their thing 10, 12 times. And you know what? It's a forever life change. It has forever altered their life in not a good way. It's a lifetime recovery for these girls. So we are coming after them. And so I wanted you guys to know a little bit more about that. If you have any questions about that, I pop things on the internet to kind of help people to understand what's going on. So if you want to be a part of the task force, or if you have any questions or want to be involved somehow, there's a human trafficking hotline that can be called. You can call 911. Be the eyes and ears. Look around. If you see an older man with a younger girl, check your kids' social media. That is such a huge thing. You have no idea. But anyway, message me if you have any questions. And thank you so much. I hope this helps you be more aware of what's going on in our country and our communities. Thanks.